Welcome to our channel Top Teners, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss a video. Hurricanes represent an annual threat to the lives and livelihood of millions living in coastal or insular geographic regions. Throughout history, certain natural disasters have stood out as especially destructive. Here's a look back at some of the worst hurricanes in history. Number 10. The Chenier-Caminada Hurricane, 1893. More than a century ago, a powerful Category 4 hurricane made landfall on the small island of Chenier-Caminada, with wind speeds of more than 130 miles per hour. Storm surge of close to 18 feet decimated the small fishing community, leaving just a few homes standing and killing more than 770 of the town's 1,471 residents. An estimated 2,000 people were killed, and the hurricane moved over the Mississippi Delta into southern Mississippi and Alabama. Number 9. Galveston Hurricane, 1900. This Category 4 hurricane that hit the island city of Galveston, Texas, is one of the deadliest natural disasters in U.S. history. Storm tides of up to 15 feet inundated the whole of the island as well as other parts of the Texas coast. High tides were largely possible for an estimated 8,000 deaths and more than $30 million in damage. More than 10,000 residents were left homeless as most buildings in the city were damaged. Number 8. San Felipe Okeechobee Hurricane, 1928. More than 2,000 people lost their lives as this hurricane made its way from Leeward Islands to Florida. The storm first made landfall in Puerto Rico as a Category 4 hurricane with wind speeds exceeding 140 miles per hour, and 312 people were killed on the island. The hurricane actually landed near Palm Beach several days later. Inland, Lake Okeechobee was hit hardest in the state as the hurricane caused a lake surge of 6 to 9 feet. More than 2,000 people died in Florida, mostly due to lake surge. Number 7. The Great Labor Day Hurricane, 1935. The 1935 Labor Day hurricane slammed the Florida Keys with estimated wind speeds of up to 185 miles per hour and deadly storm surges. The combination of high winds and tides from the Category 5 storm left more than 400 people dead. Among those killed were World War I veterans working on a project to connect the railway to the Keys. Damages were estimated to be more than $6 million. Number 6. Hurricane Camille, 1969. Hurricane Camille is one of only 4 Category 5 hurricanes to ever make landfall in the continental United States since 1900. Camille made landfall along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The actual maximum sustained winds of the hurricane are not known as the storm destroyed wind recording instruments in the area, but estimates say the hurricane hit roughly 175 miles per hour along the coast, bringing a storm tide of more than 24 feet. The greatest damage occurred in southeast Mississippi, Dauphin Island, the Alabama coastline, and the Mobile metro area. The storm resulted in 256 deaths and more than $1.4 billion in damage. Number 5. Hurricane Andrew, 1992. Hurricane Andrew hit southern Florida as a Category 5 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 165 miles per hour. The storm made landfall in South Miami-Dade County and later moved into the Gulf of Mexico to make a second landfall near Point Chevruil as a Category 3 hurricane. Andrew caused an estimated $26 billion in damage and was responsible for at least 15 deaths. Number 4. Hurricane Katrina, 2005. Hurricane Katrina is one of the most devastating hurricanes in U.S. history. Katrina made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane with winds up to 125 miles per hour near Buras. The hurricane and its aftermath claimed more than 1,800 lives, primarily from Louisiana and Mississippi. Katrina ranks as the costliest storm to hit the U.S. with an estimated $170 billion in damages. Number 3. Hurricane Sandy, 2012. Sandy was a massive storm that brought high winds and flooding to the U.S. mid-Atlantic and northeastern states in late October 2012. Hurricane Sandy plowed through the Caribbean, killing 75 people before heading north and approaching the East Coast. Sandy caused devastating storm surge and floods throughout the coasts of New York and New Jersey, and at one point the storm engulfed roughly 800 miles between the East Coast and Great Lakes region. The storm killed more than 100 people and left millions without power and caused more than $70 billion worth of damage. Number 2. Hurricane Harvey 2017. Hurricane Harvey made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane along the Texas coast near Port Aransas and caused $125 billion in damage. That's more than any other natural disaster in U.S. history, with the exception of Hurricane Katrina. At the storm's peak, 1/3 of Houston was underwater, and flooding forced an estimated 39,000 people out of their homes. Dozens of people were killed in the storm. Number 1. Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria 2017. Puerto Rico was struck by 2 major hurricanes less than 2 weeks apart. Hurricane Irma, a Category 5 storm, approached the island, triggering widespread power outages and water service interruptions for days. Hurricane Maria later hit Puerto Rico directly as a Category 4 hurricane with wind speeds of more than 150 miles per hour, decimating the island's already fragile infrastructure. It took nearly a year for the island to restore power to all of the customers who lost it during the hurricane, marking the longest blackout in U.S. history. While officials initially said only 64 people died in the storm, the death toll was later revised to nearly 3,000. Hurricanes often serve as a bitter reminder of human vulnerability. However, even when in the path of hurricanes, people show an incredible capacity to adapt and recover from tragedy. These hurricanes illustrate not only the fierce violence of nature, but also the ingenuity and tenacity of humanity. Hey, don't forget to like the video and let us know what you think of the video in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon to be notified about our latest videos.